Chin chin. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening out there, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Margaret Pinard. I'm a historical fiction fantasy author, and I have a tag for you today. And really, it's just a great opportunity for you to showcase your channel and the things you're most proud of from the year, and maybe even use it as your trailer for your channel so that people can say, oh, I like that and that and that. I think I'll subscribe. So hopefully this will give some fun prompts to I tried to tag everyone in my subscriptions list on the side, and hopefully it'll be a fun little reflection and recap of your Booktube 2025 year. So I'm calling it the best of 2025, but you don't have to do it in 2025. In fact, I think a lot of best of lists come out in January. So you got a whole month, relax, kick back. Don't worry, just have fun with some of these prompts. I've got a question of the day today, which is, do you make future resolutions, goals, schedules? And do you reflect backward first? I think sometimes doing that might be beneficial. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. For me, it's Christmas Eve. I have my lovely Christmas stocking in the background. I'm at my parents' house. I've still traveled with books. So Bean is behind the laptop. I am smushed up in a corner, and this is how we roll while we're traveling. So, to prepare, if you don't know what a book tag is, it's basically like a little quiz that lets us know a little bit about you and your reading. And basically, I include all the prompts in the description. And if I tag you, or if you want to do the tag, you take those prompts, get your answers, put it on your own channel, and then you tag people. So it just keeps going and keeps going. And it's always nice to tag the OG person so that they can see that you did their tag, which is really fun. And this one has 10 prompts, not too bad. And then you have to tag some people. So let's see. I'm going to say hello to the chat first and then get down to business. Apparently, Gareth is still wrapping up presents, so he's going to catch us on the replay. Sounds really fun. I did let out the spoiler that there will be a Bean cameo because I have lots of pictures to share for my answers and even a video. So we'll address that. And Greg is here. He asked, how did you choose Bean's name? I actually didn't. He came with that name. I did not get him as a kitten. I got him as an adult cat. Anita is here. Hello, hello. Jenny is here. Hello, trying to scare me with her ghosts. Catpa is here. Hello. Merry winter solstice, Christmas Eve, any holidays you celebrate, Cozymas, Bookmas, Bookaka, any of the greats. Jenny's answer, I love making New Year's plans and goals and then waving at them as I forget and ignore them. I can relate. Anita says, no resolutions for me. Yeah, I think they're kind of passe. Maybe in women's magazines, they still do them because I think that's where I remember seeing them. Jenny needs to wrap some stuff too. Good reminder. Oh, hello, Julie. Welcome, welcome. And she's got a new profile pic. Hello, friends. Welcome. Looking very nice there with the glasses for reading. You're in the right crowd. And if you are new here and trying to do the tag and not knowing me, I am an author. So if you're interested in historical fiction books, there's some pointers to some of my favorites down in the description below. So let's dive into the first prompt. You can follow along in the description. What is the best addition to your home in this year, 2025? And I just said it could be a book, it could be a family member, like a pet, it could be anything, right? No limits. The best addition to your home or household. And so here's the Bean cameo. Bean did not come into the house in 2025, but you know what did? those beautiful library shelves. So in September, my brother-in-law, who is a home carpenter genius as well as a general contractor, made these bookshelves, and then we clamped them together, anchored them to the wall, and put in a wood floor. So I got like a super fancy treatment. I got to design the arches. He made it happen with his fancy tools, and it was just a real good time. And I got to see my sister and brother-in-law, and it was just wonderful. So the biggest, boldest, most beautiful addition to my home was these shelves. And I have another view. So appreciate the beanster there, but then there's the actual full width. It's like 9-10 feet. I don't even remember. I remember doing all the measurements, but it's pretty impressive, and it filled up. So, but I'm still trying to scale back as always. So first prompt, best addition to your home. I could look at these for hours at a time and just feel cool and serene and lucky. So very grateful for that addition to my home this year. Jenny's got an answer here. I do try and start new and better habits, but I thoroughly enjoy procrastinating. Right? There's no guilty pleasures. We don't use that term here. Cat paw says, on my phone, trying to get the laptop to start. No worries. Bookish BGG. Hello. You've got a kitty as a profile picture. Nice. Bean is so pretty. Yes, he's a good cat. He is. He's looking away at the moment behind the laptop. Julie says, love your new bookshelves. So do I. Jenny says, pretty bookshelves. I know. So lucky. Prompt number 2, the best experiment on your channel. Okay, so did you try something new? Did you invite someone on? Did you do your first live stream? Did you do your first original tag? What did you try new on your channel this year that you're proud of? And so for me, that would be the new iteration of my August intensive thing, right? And so this year it was Agitation August, where I invited folks on to discuss a book that agitated them. And so we talked about a lot of great literature, great politics, great causes, great history, and I had just wonderful guests. So I think I'll be continuing this next year. And if you're not already on the list, interested in being a guest, let me know in the comments. I will follow up. But yeah, you can check out the playlist link. And I basically had 16 guests in the 31 days of August, and I'm up for increasing that. I just need to get going on those buddy reads with people sooner rather than later, because I can't do 30 books in, a week. But yeah, if you're interested in talking about the books that moved you, changed your heart, shook you up, made you rethink your life, anything really big like that, we'd love to hear about it. And Agitation August is the day we do the live streams, but I'm going to start organizing for this in March, April. So please let me know sooner rather than later. I'm very excited. Hopefully, hope to have some great guests for 2026. Let's see. Oh, Jenny's new addition is a new king-size bed. Best sleep ever. I'm guessing you were a starfish sleeper. Is that why? Very nice. I skipped down here. Greg says everything was new for me. Yeah, new channel. But the experiment that I'm most happy with and proud of is reading cowboy poetry out loud. Yeah, you got quite a poetry corner on Booktube, so you're in good company. Bookish BGG. My profile photo is one of my family's 4 cats. Oh my gosh, I couldn't handle 2, so hats off to 4 cats in the family. One of our cats looks a lot like Bean, gray with some tabby patterns showing on the tail and tummy. Yeah, does he have it on the tail? He does have it on the tail. Yes, the underside. It's like the shark of him coming out. He's a cutie. Nita says, not much new on my channel, but I did one of those trendy book flip shorts. Book flip. Oh, when you have something to read and the transitions. Transitions is a good skill, my friend. Well done. Hello, Jim. Welcome. We are on prompt number 3. Best New Author Discovered. So no matter if you've read 5 books or 50 books, hopefully you read a new author to you. And I have 2. I couldn't choose one, so you're allowed to do 2 as well. I read Manda Scott for the first time. Thank you to Catpaw for pushing me to make that part of my reading list for Herkian. I read the 4 books of the Boudica series by Manda Scott, which is historical fiction that is epic and sweeping and well-researched and imaginative and just intense and immersive about the invasion of Britain and the generational saga of the local tribes politicking to try to kick out the invading forces in, I forget now, 1st century AD, perhaps. And she is just masterful. So Any Human Power, her latest book of last year, is on my wish list. But Manda Scott is a new must-buy, must-listen author. I think she's fantastic. Also, Naomi Ortiz. I read 2 of her books. She is a queer, disabled climate activist. So there's lots of different niches that she is intersecting and explaining and processing and sharing that journey with us. And so a number of those things were new to me. So she's got self-care for sustainable activism, and I'm not remembering the names of the books at the moment. And then the other one was rituals for climate activism. So one was more of a, what does she do, her meditations, her musings, and some poetry, and the other one was more processing, research, things that happen in her life. Just really well done in a very vulnerable way. So I really appreciate that type of work when it's written in a memoir or sort of like a sciencey memoir. That's like a good mashup for me. So Naomi Ortiz. Hopefully looking for more, or, just a reread, because there's always more you can glean from books on the reread. Prompt number 4, best new song. Now, I reached out to my friend JD and was like, is there a Radiohead song called Let Down? Do you like Radiohead? Because they seem like a you kind of band. And he's like, yeah. And so when Gareth gets to this part, he's gonna cackle, because yeah, I grew up in the 90s. I should know Radiohead, but not my genre, right? But TikTok. Hold on. TikTok is a great way for me to discover new music, because I don't listen to the radio, I don't drive. There's not a lot of ways for me to discover new music. But when I'm scrolling, people will put little snippets of audio, and people copy that audio with the same idea of the sketch. And so it sort of goes viral. And this song that was Let Down by Radiohead was made into a choral version and sort of remixed. And I'm going to share it with you, because I found it on YouTube and put it on my work music list. So if you're a fan of Radiohead, you may or may not like this version, but oh my gosh, it's breathtaking and one of those ones that I can listen to again and again. And it's just emotive, right? It's really about emotional release and just thinking about memories, and music will do that to you. So yeah, really, really good find for that. We have a Constance in the house. Merry Christmas Eve, my friend. Greg is gonna say, in advance of finishing one of my books, best new to me author, Margaret Bernard. Well, thank you, Greg. That's very sweet. Goals for Jim. He makes a Goodreads target, which is 72, and he surpassed that because he's read 76 so far. So next year will be 72 again. I think I did the very mathematical number of 144. So I know you're decreasing so that you have more attention to each book, but I seem to end around 130 or 140. So I figured I would keep it at the 12 times 12 is a gross. And I'm at 165. So this year, despite having several periods where I could not read at all, actually exceeded mine as well. Cat Boss says, Rachel Kadish, a new author. Thanks to being recommended by you. Awesome. Yeah, The Weight of Ink. Weight as in poids, pesé. So good. So good by Rachel Kadish. And I think there's a new one out by them, new in the last year. I'm not sure. It's not the same subject matter, but yeah, looked interesting. Constance. Hi, Jenny, Gareth, Jim, Greg, and those of you I've yet to meet. Very inclusive. Thank you. JC Lynn, S.A. Barnes, and Tonka Dragt. What a name. I assume those are your new authors. Wow. Cool. Very nice. Thank you. And hello. New authors to Jim. Becky Chambers. We know about Becky Chambers. Did I say Jackie? Becky Chambers and Inger Wolf. I don't think I know Inger Wolf. I obviously need to catch up on some books, some videos from your channel. This is the link to the choral remix. Feel free to turn it on while you're listening to me or save it for later. And Anita, one of one of Jim's favorite authors, Irina Shapiro. No new songs. All right. Prompt number 5. We're moving on here. Best new habit. Okay, so for this, I won't reach and get it. I have lots of notebooks. I'm a writer. I'm going to have notebooks. It's just a thing. And one of them I use for journaling first thing in the morning and the last thing at night. Now, you may know that there's a habit in The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron that is 3 handwritten pages first thing in the morning. I don't do that. I just do one. But I started doing one at night as well to sort of clear the mind before I go to sleep. And I found that to be really helpful. I don't do it every night, but I do it every morning. And that cycle sort of helps ground the ends of my day. I had a really great coaching session that I won with Melissa Ike. And one of the things we discovered was that I have some anchors and some routines that are really working for me, but then there's this vast space in the afternoon that is not anchored and generally loses its focus and productivity. And the same thing with the year schedule. So we're working and I was trying to think of ways to sort of pin on both sides and sort of have lots of freedom in between to get work done, but not feel like I'm flying away with no strings attached. And so, yeah, journaling first and last thing each day. Prompt number 6, best movie. Now, this was really easy for me because I don't watch many movies, and I'm sure that you guys have only heard me talk about one. So which one is it going to be? It's the one I made a whole tag about. Now, I'm going to link you to the playlist of people who have done the tag, which so far is just me and Rachel from RK Stumbling Bear. But I know Ven's going to be on that list, and maybe JJ, some other folks will jump on and do the tag. But yeah. All right, let's see. Catching up with 5 and 6, we have Jenny says, K-pop Demon Hunters permanently etched in my brain for new songs. Excellent. They refuse to be replaced. Well, they stick around. Jim says, Inger Wolf writes Danish noir thrillers. Okay, nice. Not my genre, but I know it's quite popular. And this is Jim is how I heard of Irina Shapiro. Excellent. Doing the Booktube telephone. Very nice. There is the link. There's only 2 videos in it right now, but you will hear a little bit about my love for K-pop Demon Hunters. It is an animated movie currently on Netflix, but it's been very, very successful. Came out in the summer, I believe. And lots of videos on TikTok about it, lots of great music, lots of wonderful humor, good characters, good storyline, excellent choreography, excellent editing, just a masterpiece. One of those things like a Pixar movie where there's different levels of understanding and you're like, oh, I see what they did there. That's so good. So I'm encouraging everyone to watch the movie and then maybe do the tag on here if you like. Jim says Irina Shapiro has a psychological thriller coming out, The Invite, which was a little disappointing for me. I love her Victorian mysteries, but this was too similar to Lucy Foley's The Guest List. Okay. So yeah, some people have different series and you like one more than another. Makes sense. Bookish BGG. 2 films I really love this year. The Lobster, which I've heard of, and Bob Trevino Likes It, which I have not heard of. All right. Nice. Greg says, I never lose focus because I never find focus in the first place. Well, you do put out videos, so you have to prepare for those. I see that you do, so you can't get away from that. Focus sounds uncomfortable, says Jenny. Favorite film for Greg is Sinners, which I know is also very popular. People were commenting on that on YouTube, so that's on my list. But again, I don't get to see too many movies, so eventually, perhaps. Prompt number 7. Best new recipe or meal made or tasted. And I know this is very open, and that's on purpose because I thought I would be able to find something from a cookbook or go through all my photos of food, which I do pretty much every day, the food I make for myself. But we haven't ironed out that whole photo labeling system yet. So more often than not, I look at a picture of food and I think, is that this? Is that that? Did I do this, that? And I don't take notes in the photos out. So I have no idea and I can't recreate it. It's just like an inspiration. I did find one really good kale salad that had some roasted delicata squash as well as fresh apples and caramelized walnuts and roasted chickpeas. And that was a really good combination, like roasted, soft, crispy things, as well as greens and things to chomp on. So I like throwing things together like that. But that is not what I'm going to do for this because it's too inexact. It's not something I can share because I'm not sure what's in it. Those are what I think it was, right? So I'm going to share a meal that I had at a restaurant with my sister that is a now core memory in my happy place of memories. And that is a place called Kirari West. And they had something called a pirate bowl. And we went there specifically because it's a gluten-free restaurant and my sister's gluten-free. So when she was visiting, we went there and they had tuna salad with salad. Gareth, don't self-destruct. It's got a lot of things in it. There's the link. You can see what's in it. There's a lot of good things, but it is a salad and it's I got a dish of a dollop of tuna salad on top of the salad. So just so good. Good combination of flavors, good memories, good times. And if anyone is in Portland, I highly recommend. They seem like a really good business trying to be sustainable. And they've got 3 places on the West Coast, it looks like. So I'm glad they're in Portland. Let's see. Jenny says, if I could learn to focus, maybe I'd actually make some videos. Oh, well, some of us have different strengths and weaknesses. So maybe if you had a buddy, I don't know. I was thinking of Greg talking about no sparkly books, and Ven, was it Ven or someone else had too many sparkly books? Yeah. Ven said, oh, that's really not a gold sparkle. That's more like a bronze sparkle. So that doesn't apply. And I was like, wow, someone has an abundance of sparkle, which is quite a gift, but they should probably share it with Greg because he needed a gold or a sparkle. I don't remember which one it was for the Christmas colors tag. So that made me laugh. But again, just suggesting how we could help each other out there. Constance says, agree about the lobster. So good. And Jim says, I made cottage pie last Saturday. The family want me to make it again. It was good. Excellent. So way to go, helping out the family, making everyone happy. That's lovely to hear. How did you understand the lobster's ending? Oh, we're having some movie critique going on. This is Kirari West's link for anyone who is curious. Jenny is saying yes to some lobster pie, some cottage pie. Lobster gave me a lot to think about, and I love that. It also made perfect sense to me, even though it was so absurd. Okay. Kappa says, for the film, I am planning to watch Flow in the next few days, but I really loved Bodies, but that was a miniseries. Close enough. I think I said movie, which is I guess that is a film rather than a series, but you know, we're being pretty slapdash about these categories. So do what you like. Hello, Mike. Season's greetings. It is very late on Christmas Eve for you. I saw that at multiple channels this morning it sprung up with readings of Christmas classics, either poems or stories. So Mike is in that category. And I thought, wow, is this a coordinated attack? So many people had them. Hermie, hello. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve. Hope you're having a wonderful time. Lovely to see you, my friend. Bookish BGG. The ending without spoilers is ambiguous on purpose. So we're talking about redefining their love and escaping the norms. Well, that sounds good. Greg says, I had to make some major dietary shifts this year. I'm still sorting out what I like and what I don't. Oh, for the meal. So that might be hard. Or you have 7 days left, and maybe you find that one meal that satisfies all the doctors. I know that's really hard for my dad. Jenny says, Ven's books have the skin of a killer Bella. Ooh, I had not heard that before, but I think you're talking about sparkling vampires. Yes, ridiculously true about the lobster, I think. And Mike says, no, not coordinated as an attack, just a succumbing to the holiday mood. I see. Well done. I think it's nice to get everyone in a holiday mood. In fact, holiday mood about tomorrow. I know some of my friends will be doing the Accidental Booksellers Christmas Day on Booktube tag. I have my thumbnail up. I know Jim put out a teaser. He's got his ready. And I'll just be doing a live stream a little earlier so that my Christmas plans here are not disturbed. We're not going over to my sister's to open presents until 10. So I'll be here for at max an hour, a little earlier than usual tomorrow. But it's a bonus day anyway, since I'm not usually here on Thursdays. So we'll just say hello, do a haul. Yeah, I know Elaine has a haul to do, but I think it was delayed because of some tech errors. So should be fun though. All right. So prompt number 8 for us is best new plant friend. Okay. Oh, I forgot the pictures. Did I forget all the pictures? No. All right. So I did the bookshelves. This is the pirate bowl at Kirari West. So that was really good with like lemon honey vinaigrette. So the best new plant friend. This I included because one of my goals throughout the year is to get better at plant identification. And so I'm really looking at plants when I walk by them. I'm looking in the sky for birds. I'm looking at the ground for roots. I'm trying to pay attention to my environment, even though I'm also listening to an audiobook, right? So this, I've got 2 here. Best new plant friend. This was a really difficult identification. I kept walking by. I think I went through 2 different plants thinking it was them and then getting canceled. They've got these really distinctive paper lantern husks and really pretty leaves. And I can show you, let's see what it is here. Yes, I can show you the leaves here. So it's called a golden rain tree. And this is what I have in search. Wait, did it come up? There we go. Okay. So if you can see this, the leaves are like lacy on the edges, like someone took a very pretty cutout machine and worked on the edges of these leaves. So I really thought the leaves were pretty, but also these are the seeds and the paper lanterns. So did I do that right? So you see these little like pockets and they stay on the tree long after fall. So the leaves are gone for fall, but then you get these pretty sort of paper lantern seed pods and they're kind of sharp on one side. And I thought that's got to be distinctive, right? But it took me months of wondering and like searching and not really finding it in the books. And then finally Googling and finding this. And I thought, oh, okay, golden rain tree. So that was pretty cool. And now I know another species that's on my daily walks down in Portland, and that was really cool. Um, the other thing that I wanted to include in this, it's not part of the tag, unless you have a similar situation, but I walked by a certain tree many times and it was roped off for a long time. And I'm wondering, what are they doing? And then one day I walked by and it was completely gone. And so I just wanted to do a little memorial to this tree because it was a legend in the neighborhood. And I really miss it whenever I walk by. And so it's like mourning together makes the load less, right? So here's a video I took of how beautiful the tree was when I walked by one time. Let's see if I can make it big here. Look how big it is. It's like a granddaddy. So that is the tree we lost because the city had to put in accessible, like even with the street, with the bumps for vision impaired folks. And they couldn't figure out a way to not make the tree roots interfere with the sidewalk. It was going to be too costly to figure out an exception. So this decades old tree that I think was an elm, which are pretty rare, and there's only a couple others in the neighborhood, just came down. And now there's nothing left of it. And it's sad. So this is why I'm hoping to get better in relationship with the plants around me so that I can advocate for them before they get disappeared by engineers who don't have time. So, yeah, that's my little shake my fist moment. Let's see, catch up with the chat here. Yeah, so they're going to talk some more about the lobster. I love it. Yeah, you continue it in the comments after we finish, and that way you don't miss anything. Mike is also doing the Christmas Day on Booktube tag. Way to go. Constance says same. Yeah, I think the lobster, is that the one with the guy from The Mummy? No, that's the whale. I'm not remembering what the lobster is. Okay. The laptop is alive after 25 minutes to start. Oh boy, it's alive. Thank goodness. Yes, I'm glad it lives to fight another day. Yeah, so I think that's about the golden rain tree. So there's one or two of those in my neighborhood. Julie says, I've seen those golden rain trees here in SoCal. My best new plant friend is the silver ragwort. It's stunning. Lovely. Ragwort. Is that, when you say silver, that makes me think of an artemisia, and that used to be my favorite for a long time. There's lots of different variations or subspecies of artemisia, but the one I loved the sound of was Artemisia ludoviciana. I wanted a pet to name that after. Like, I just love the sound of it. Oh, okay. The lobster stars Colin Farrell. But it's not the one that's set in Ireland. I found and bought a tiny juniper tree. It's only 5 inches tall. I've wanted one for a long time. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, juniper is really good. I listened to an audiobook about foraging by Gabrielle Cerberville. She's called the Chaotic Forager on Instagram. And she's got lots of memoiry slash lessons learned in foraging in the book. And then she breaks it up with exercises to like sort of commune with nature. And after that, she has little recipes. And one of them that's stuck in my head is using juniper ash, and how not nutritious, but how beneficial it is to balance things in our diets. And I was like, wow, interesting. I'm not encouraging you to burn up the tree that you just got. That's 5 inches tall, but we have lots of landscaping juniper around here. And I do like sort of like pinching a little piece off every once in a while because it smells really nice. The cypress juniper family has a really nice sort of refreshing scent. So this is lovely. Okay. Best Wildlife sighting is prompt number 9. And for this one, I have to share with you. Okay, this happened back in March. This is what I saw first. Okay. It's just a picture. I don't have a video of it because it was very fast and I had to it was very chaotic, speaking of chaos. So if you zoom in, you could see, the bottom. You're looking up into a tree. This is a strawberry tree in a city sidewalk right outside a very popular, trendy hipster cafe. And so I came out of the cafe and I looked up because there was a lot of moving branches and scurrying noises. And I was like, what is that? And I looked up long enough that other people around me started to look up and going, what is that? And you could see the underside is white there. But I stood there long enough to see the eye was orange. And I was like, what the hell am I looking at? It was really cool. It was something I never expected to see. So just with those things, like orange eye, white underbelly, central coast, like I was trying to figure out what it was. And I came up with an answer that is spot on, which is, I'll share with you the the fancy photograph version, which is this one. Here we go. The black-crowned night heron is very impressive looking. I thought herons had longer legs, but apparently there's a stocky version called the black-crowned night heron, and they have these orange eyes. And I was like, wow. So black cap, white, gray, black. And I was like, that's definitely the thing that I saw in the tree that was moving around and looking very disturbed that there were humans in its realm. So I've seen none since this spring because I haven't been back to that coffee shop in particular, but I've been back to the park where people go for bird watching and they don't hang out there. So it was a very special moment and I'm glad I got to see it once, capture a picture, and yeah, wildlife sighting for the win in the city. Yeah. Cat Paw saying you can use juniper berries in cooking and make cordial and tea from the needles. Needles, juniper. Am I not picking juniper? It's got more of like a maitake mushroom type of situation rather than needles. So I'm wondering if I'm thinking of something else, or maybe you're just using the word sort of flexibly. But yeah, Gathered by Gabrielle Cerberville, I thought was a really great book for lots of little pieces like that. Bookish BGG. One time I was returning from a walk and stopped to listen to birdsong, and then I continued only to see 2 grown boars with their young ones crossing the path. I was really thankful I stopped. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is when you're like, oh, don't those birds sound nice? And then you're like, oh, they must have been crying each other to stay the hell out of the path. Like that was an alarm bird song. Nice. Yeah, that's good luck. Aaron, hello, Aaron. You can make gin. Yes, juniper is involved in gin making. It's a very distinctive sort of piney note. Greg says there's a nesting site for black-crowned night herons less than a mile from me. Oh my gosh. So do you get to see them all the time? Do they fly over? Do you hear what they sound like? Because I just heard like chittering and movement. I don't know that I heard what they actually sound like. But the great blue heron is the one I'm more familiar with for seeing side of the road or in parks and whatnot. And they're majestic. So I know how to recognize those. But yeah. Jenny lost a message. Did I misplace a message? I don't think so. All right. So that is best wildlife sighting. And then the final one is best new skill or personal discovery. So basically, there was an experiment on the channel. That's one kind of thing that you tried out. But any other area of your life, what is a new skill that you acquired or a, personal discovery that you made? Reading self-help books, for example, or just changing your schedule, changing your routines, trying to reach some goals that you had. I actually had 2. So 2 that I thought of. One is on decision making. So I have definitely said this before on the channel. I struggle with decision making because I don't want to make the wrong decision. So often it'll take me a really long time. But there was an instance of something up in Portland, and I was really paralyzed for a little bit. And then I said, I have to do this before I can do that. Let's get it out of the way. And I did. And I was like, oh, it worked. So little steps, getting better, like sort of reasoning with yourself and setting up systems. That has been good this year. So I'm proud of this divide, conquer, prioritize approach. And yeah, it helps me to avoid overwhelm with decision making. The other thing was isolating, and that's not a positive. That's I've gone down on isolating. So one of the things I isolated as a variable was that I was feeling too alone without community, just online too much. And so I realized I need a better balance of community online, community in real life. And I made actual, tangible steps to make it happen. And, had dinners with people, went out to tea with people, went to meetings, met new folks about things that I'm concerned about. So that was some good movement, and I'm pretty proud of that. So decision making up, isolating down, and that's personal discoveries for 2025 that I just realized when I was reflecting backwards that that's an accomplishment, and we want to see it keep going. So mashallah. I tagged everyone I could see in the subscriptions on the side that were Booktube related. So if I didn't get you, it's because I don't know any way to get all my subscriptions anymore. I know I have like 600 more perhaps, but YouTube changes things around. And so I don't know how to get to see all of them. But if you're interested in declaring all your best of 2025s, these prompts to the world and Booktube, please feel free to tag me. Let me know you're doing the tag and I will come watch, leave a comment and like, because, I do that for every video I watch. So my message went away. I didn't do it. It might have had swear words in it. I don't have any controls on it like that, so I don't think that's why. Greg says, I started playing penny whistle late 2024, but I've made massive progress in 2025. That's a new skill or a improved skill, so that works. That's really good. Aaron said, I discovered I can run a marathon without dying. That is an amazing accomplishment. Oh my gosh. But, no need to repeat. I think once is proving your point. Well done. Well done, Aaron. Jenny says, sounds like me, Aaron. Either that or YouTube doesn't like foxes. You had a fox in your comment? Okay. I'm losing the plot here. Let me make sure I didn't have any pictures. I didn't share. Nope. I shared all of those. And yeah, so those are the 10 prompts. Those are all the people I'm tagging. I hope I got your name in there, all my friends over on Booktube, so that they feel included and are part of this. And again, it doesn't need to be rushed through before the end of 2025. Often people do best of lists in January when you can actually look at all of 2025 and maybe even have a little break in the next week to like reflect, journal, all those good reflective activities. Maybe it's snowy where you are, Elaine, and you have a nice quiet soundscape outside. That is not the case where I am, but maybe for you it is. So that's today's video. I hope you guys have fun with this. I hope to hear many great meals, recipes, songs, movies, and maybe I'll start 2026 with a new list to listen to and watch. That would be quite nice. Yes. Mike says, I suspect Booktube will be my best discovery of 2025. That's fair. That is a fun thing to discover. Jim says, New Year's resolution to learn Georgian again. Well, I think the children's book might be the first thing, maybe like the first quarter of the year. If you make that like a hard stop kind of goal, that might help boost you up a little bit. Aaron says, foxes are about the only wild animal I see. London foxes will walk up to packed train stations. They have no fear. Wow. Are they still cute when they have no fear? I don't know. Wait. Hi, Elaine. Did Elaine come in? I don't think so. At least I don't see her. I winked to the camera for when she sees it on replay. I was going to do a quick little announcement round, which is, oh, if you're still here, I didn't put this up. Subscribe to the channel. Would love to have you in the audience. I am doing bookish mail. So if you want to check out the benefits for being a patron or a channel member, those are in the description or on all the buttons below the window. And if you've got questions, let me know. But I'm going to just go over quickly 2 current reads, which are not begging, not bussing. What's the word I'm looking for? Really working for me. Let's go with that. So I'm reading Theory of Water, Nishname Maps to the Times Ahead. Leanne Bedasamosaki Simpson. I love the cover. I don't know if this would be a Venn cover. It's not sparkly, but it is very colorful. And I'm finally getting into what she means by theory of water. So I am page 96, about half or a little before halfway through, and learning about eels in the latest chapter and the Sargasso Sea. So I know a little bit about that. So that's kind of neat to see that come into play. And this one I'm almost finished with. It's a very slim volume. It's Dreamers of the Day by Mary Doria Russell, who is one of my favorite authors based on one book. So this is the second book of hers that I've read, and I'm really liking it. So it's not a disappointment yet, knock on wood. Someone had said that it wasn't as good as the others, but I'm getting close to the end and not seeing what the end is going to be and enjoying where I am. So really, really good one. How about you guys? Are we having a Christmas Eve read? I'll check in with the chat. Monkeys are a regular feature in our area for the wildlife sightings. Interesting. Can you tell different types of monkeys by now then? Erin says the foxes are cute, but they make horrible noises. Do they? I read a book called Fox and I thought it was very, very good. I really enjoyed it as a nature scientist memoir. I don't think she talks about the noises they make, or maybe I forgot that part. Feliz Navidad from Texas. Hello, Libro. Thanks for joining. No, I went to the camera for Elaine for when she comes for the snowy soundscape, but she's not here at the moment. Is Jenny a fox? Oh, there's the good interpretation. Sounds great. So current reads for Jim, Crooked Kingdom, which he had on his What Are You Reading Wednesday, Voyage of the Beagle, Chipping Away at the Darwin, and Cold, Cold Bones. Excellent mix there. Mike just finished Carmilla, the pre-Dracula vampire novel. Yes, a classic. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it could go either way. I think you will. And Cat Paw is reading The Yule Cat, Yola Koturin. Yola Koturin. I got it before reading. That's pretty good. In Icelandic, is a massive creature from Icelandic folklore that prowls the country on Christmas Eve. I've heard of the Yule Cat. I sent a friend from my hometown a picture because there was a cartoon illustration of the Yule Cat in an Instagram post, and then her post about her cat was just after it. And it said something like, the odds of the Yule Cat devouring your town are low, but never zero. Something like that. It's just a really cute little illustration. Anita says, I'm so far behind in my reading, but I do want to read Written in the Dark, the new book by Guy Gavriel Kay. And I believe Guy Gavriel Kay was the person you'd take to a desert island in your latest tag. So that he should definitely go on my list for reading. I know he's like lurking down too far. Constance says, we get deer, raccoons, coyote, possums, mostly rural Tennessee. That's a lot of wildlife. So I don't know, maybe you'll have to think real hard to figure out your best wildlife sighting. I know I just opened a box behind the hot tub here and found a little mouse who has been happily using the box and the tiny crack that was open as a place to store their used nut collection. And he popped up out of one of the boxes, and I was like, oh, good. I'm glad this was securely fastened. He looked at me for about a second and then popped back down. I was like, oh, man. Written on the dark. Okay. Thank you for the correction. Greg is still working on the Pickwick Papers, Charles Dickens. Excellent. Well, you still got some December left. Aaron is just finishing Slow Gods by Claire North. Bit too hard sci-fi for me. I think I just heard someone else talking about this, and I'm not sure what context. The Burgundians by Bart Van Loo, which is great. I'm assuming that's history. It sounds good. And just started We Solve Murders by Richard Osman, which I think is probably in Thursday Murder Club series. My mom is reading one of those because it just came out of the library and it's on her app, and she has a limited time to finish it. So yeah, that's great. That's great. Turkeys and ducks and turtles. Okay, so between deer, raccoons, coyote, possums, turkeys, ducks, and turtles. We see turkeys here in suburbia, so those aren't too special for me here. I would probably say coyotes or turtles would be the most unique. A used nut collection. All right. No more baby mice then. I mean, I left it open so that it would leave. I don't want to harm it. I just want it to find another home. You know, like this is for pool chemicals. You should not be staying in here, little guy. So, yeah. Excellent. Well, I had 2 that I'm focusing on, and you guys all have lovely, very varietal reads. Very cool. I hope you have lovely reading time for the next week. Hopefully you have a break. It's always nice when you get to rest. But yeah, this was my idea for best of 2025. I'd love to see your favorite works and new discoveries of the year for your channel. And yeah, just let me know when you drop it in the next little bit, and I'll come over and say hello. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. Happy Christmas Eve. Happy end of 2025. I think we're all very happy this year is ending. Fingers crossed for 2026. What is coming up on the channel is tomorrow is the tag, which is a haul. Friday is my regular time, and I'll be doing a planning stream if anyone wants to join for that, but chatty stream. And then I think the next one is New Year's Eve. So we'll get to chat on New Year's Eve, and that will be a writing tag. So that's what's up on this channel, and I hope to see you in the ether and maybe in real life, who knows, someday soon. Until then, take care, everyone, and happy reading and happy holidays.